Hey everybody, Card Bandit. What was that? Hey everybody, Card Bandit here, and welcome to the fifth and probably the final Q&A. That's right, you heard me correctly. It's probably going to be the final Q&A, just because the interest has been dying off, and I only got 2 questions on the last one. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole story. There's no secret there. There's no like backstory. The only thing is I might start up the series again and go for like another season or another couple episodes, either later on in the year or maybe next year or something like that. So that is why this one's probably going to be the 5th installment and the final installment for the first season of the Q&A. And I might start up like another Q&A session either later this year or next year, and I think I'm just repeating myself over like a broken record. So could I have edited out myself saying something twice? Yes. Or could I have done another take? Yes. But I wanted to get the broken record line in because that stuff's hilarious. Or maybe it's just really, really lame and only I think it's hilarious. Anyway, without further ado, I'm not going to bippity-boppity-boo whatever that means anymore, and we're going to get straight into answering those questions. So the first question that was asked was, what were my impressions when I saw the Verts liquid cardistry video, or what were my first impressions when I saw the Verts liquid cardistry video? And I have to say that my first impressions when I saw the video were just smooth. One word, smooth. Like, the cardistry itself didn't seem that difficult to me, just because I noticed that they do use combinations of simpler moves and mash them together, but the cardistry itself was like pristine, and I don't think you could get a smoother video, which is what they were going for, like fluid and liquid. But all in all, like the cardistry was well executed. I loved the editing in the video, and I just really enjoyed how smooth the cardistry was. I'm guilty of not making smooth cardistry videos or learning moves so that they're perfectly smooth. That's just because I really enjoy creating new moves and experimenting and moving on, and just I love to create moves, so I don't necessarily get the old moves that I've created as smooth as they could be. So I'm definitely guilty of like not being smooth in my cardistry, but when I saw that, I was just like, wow, these guys have practiced those moves to death, and they are really, really sharp and look really, really nice. So that was my first impression of the Verts liquid cardistry video. Just one word, smooth. Anyway, next question. So the next question is, how many decks of cards do I have in total? And why in particular do I have a whole bunch of King's decks and Knock decks? I guess if you think about it, I said there were 2 questions at the beginning of the video, and now we're 3. But this guy asked 2 questions. It's all a formality. It's all a formality. 3 questions, 2 questions. What's a question between friends? Moving on to the actual answers. So for the first question, first part of the question, how many decks do I have in total? And I'm going to estimate. Do you really expect me to go ahead and start counting all the decks one by one? 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 40... Hold on, did someone say something? Damn it. 1, 2, 3... Now, did that actually happen? No, but it could have happened. So, I just want you to understand the struggle that I went through counting all my decks. It's not like I really, really keep track of them. I just get them and I try not to keep track of them, because then I don't feel bad about how many decks I have. It's not like I keep the number 271 in my head or anything like that. I just counted them. That's why the number's there. In case you missed it, 271 is how many decks I actually own. Anyway, next part of the question was, why do I have so many Kings and Knock decks? Speaking. I have a lot of Knock decks because the things are indestructible. The decks aren't that great for fanning or anything, but for card cuts, they last forever and you cannot destroy them, and they're really, really cheap. So the V3 Knocks are just super, super durable, and even though they're not great for fanning after you've used them for a while, they're super great for packet cuts, and they just don't die. Like, seriously, the box goes and dies like 20 years before the cards will. Seriously, the cards are pretty much indestructible, whereas the box is the most destructible box I've ever seen. So the contrast is very, very apparent when your box is dead and the cards are still living on. But anyway, that's why I just have a whole bunch of knock decks. It's because that the knock decks are very affordable. They're like $5 US, and they're very, very durable. Moving on to why I have a whole bunch of Kings decks. I just really like the feel and the look of the Kings decks. The Blood Red Kings V1 just feel really, really nice and smooth in the hands, and they're really good for Magic. I like the fact that they come, like the Blood Red Kings came with a double, and then I also wanted to get some Black Kings so that I could do some color changes and things like that. And the color changes don't pop too much, but it is very apparent when you have, like if you do a back color change, the black card definitely stands out amongst the red. And then I can use it for like mixing the faces and everything because they're the same shade. So I really just enjoyed the feel and the texture of the Blood Red Kings, and then I got the Black Kings so I could do some magic and whatnot with them. At least the V1 Blood Red Kings. The V2 Blood Red Kings I'm not quite as in love with, but I just really like the Kings decks for their simplicity and the feel, and the fact that they don't go too overboard in terms of the, I don't know, like the design and whatnot. It's just a very nice simplistic design, and it works well in Magic, and I also find the cards work well in Cardistry as well, just because I enjoy the feel of them. So that's why I have a whole bunch of Kings decks. And that's pretty much it for the Q&A. Like I said, there was only three questions we had that talk. There was really only 3 questions in this Q&A, so I'm probably going to end the series here. So if you have any questions, you can still feel free to leave those in the comment section below, and I'll answer them in the comment section. And like I said, I might restart the series either later in the year or next year. So I wanted to say thank you guys for participating in the Q&A series thus far. I really, really appreciate it. And for now, I guess that's just me signing off. I'll catch you guys later.